Juan is tiling his floor. The instructions on the box of tiles say that each box of tile will cover 150 square feet. Find an inequality Juan can use to calculate the number of boxes of tiles he will need to purchase to cover an area of at least 800 square feet. So let's break this down. Juan has a problem. He needs to cover the new floor in his kitchen, for example. So he goes to Home Depot and he sees that there is a box of tiles that covers 150 square feet. He comes home and he measures his kitchen, and it says that he can have 800 square feet to cover. So the box covers 150 square feet. He has 800 square feet that he needs to cover. So we ask ourselves the question, well, if he bought 2 boxes, for example, how much would he have to cover? Well, that would just be 150 times the number of boxes. So if it was 150 times 2, then it would be 300. 150 times 3, and so on. He needs to cover at least 800 square feet. So over here, we will write 800, and we ask ourselves the question, well, which one needs to be more? Does he need to have more square feet, or does he need to have more that he purchased? Well, of course, he needs to purchase more than what he has to cover. So this side needs to be bigger. The 150 is bigger than the 800. It'd be nice if it came out to be exactly the same, so we can also write equals. So in this case, 150 times however many boxes he buys needs to be greater than or equal to the 800 square feet that he has to cover. Well, part B says that Juan determined that he needs to purchase 5 boxes of tiles. Did he purchase enough to cover his floor? So let's see. Our equation will tell us. We've got 150, and we're going to multiply that by 5. So instead of B, we're going to replace B, and this will be 150 times 5, and we'll say that it is greater than or equal to 800. Well, if you run these calculations, 150 times 5 will give us 750. We want to see if that's greater than or equal to 800. In this case, it is not greater than or equal to. So no, Juan was incorrect. He did not purchase enough boxes. So we can write that. We can say that Juan did not buy enough. Okay, let's look at one more example. We will look at the one right below it. Alright, so we've got Chrissy. Chrissy is painting her house. The instructions on the paint say that each can of paint will cover 20 square feet. Find an inequality that Chrissy can use to calculate the number of cans of paint she will need to purchase to cover an area of at least 170 square feet. So we know that 20 times the number of cans, so we can say 20C, is going to tell us how much square feet it will cover, because if I take 20 times just one can, of course I can only cover 20 square feet. But if I do 20 times 2, that would give me 40 square feet. 20 times 3 would be 60, and so on. So this needs to be more or equal to, it'd be nice if it came out to equal to the 170 square feet of the wall that she knows she needs to paint. Well, it says she determined that she needs 9. So we can replace C with 9 in part B. So we've got 20 times the number of cans, which was C, in this case it's 9, is greater than or equal to 170. So if I do 20 times 9, I get 180, and 180 is in fact greater than or equal to 170, so Chrissy did well. She purchased enough. And it says justify your answer. That's what we did here in the equation. So Chrissy purchased enough. Okay. If Chrissy would have bought 10 cans, she would have had way too much. But if she would have bought only 8 cans, which